I didn't like the water sounds though, because it just sounded like slurping and it was disgusting. Like it sounded like someone was eating soup right next to my ear or something like that. Someone was like slurping on noodles or something. Hi, welcome to the podcast. I'm Joycelyn, your player one, and today, Indie House, we've got Garden Garden by Concrete Games Research Lab. And it's a first person game. I'm technically the genre would just be a gardening simulator. Like it's just a simulator game. Um I don't really it's not there's not much of a genre to this game. And the premise of this game is a Zen and honor gardening game. There's no contact warnings. The game is free, available on itch.io for Windows and Mac. Um, it took me about 10 minutes to play. It's technically very, very easy. Um, in practice, it's kind of hard, but it is a relaxing game, like it's advertised. Um, like I said, the gameplay is very easy. It's just walking around and watering things, but it's a very simple game overall. But I wish it was like easier to keep the plants alive since it's supposed to be a calming game. That was what was kind of making me not like the game. Was that it was so hard to keep all of the plants alive. Like I wasn't able to plant new plants because the plants that I had needed to be watered constantly, and the big plants that water other plants weren't watering the smaller plants. So all of the plants that I did end up planting, they didn't live because they weren't getting watered constantly. Um, so it was too hard to keep them alive because they like don't automatically water each other like the bigger plants, and the fruits don't plant themselves. So you have to go and plant them. But when you leave a plant to dry, it dies really quickly. So like if there's no constant stream of water, your garden will die. So you can't plant new plants because you have to turn away to plant a new plant. Anyways, it was a lot for me, and I mean, while it was pretty relaxing, but it was also stressful at the same time because I couldn't plant anything new, which just kind of made me eventually get bored of the game and stop playing because it was like the same thing. I was just sitting there pressing left click instead of like actually playing anything. Um, the graphics were really cool. I really enjoyed the colors. They were very calming, very they're just nice. I liked all the colors. It was just nice. It was nice tones. The piano music was very calming also. It went really well with the graphics. I mean, it was just a loop though, and I kind of wish it was like a song or a jingle, just like a little bit longer than it was, so I could like vibe to it more, you know? But it was good. I didn't like the water sounds though, because it just sounded like slurping and it was disgusting. Like it sounded like someone was eating soup right next to my ear or something like that. Someone was like slurping on noodles or something. And I didn't like that part. But the music was good. The sound effects were not. There was no story, no dialogue. There was pretty much nothing to do with the story. I mean, you don't even get to know who you are. Like you just spawn in with a watering can and then you have to plant things. So I mean, it was expected, but it was unfortunate because I really enjoy story games personally. So I kind of wish there was a story. I feel like there could have been a story. Like, why was I just in the middle of nowhere with a watering can? I don't know. Like, I feel like there could have been a story, but there was no story. So, um, my favorite part was definitely the music. I really enjoyed the calm vibe. I mean, I'm just a music nerd, so like pretty much any game, the music will be my favorite part. My least favorite part was the fact that I just couldn't progress in it. anything. Like, I couldn't plant anything. I couldn't do anything because the plants that I did have would die. And I ended up with 2 of the big watering plants, and they were watering each other, but one was watering the other, but I was watering the one that wasn't getting watered. So if I would have left, both of them would have died, and I just wasn't able to plant anything else. So I hit a dead end pretty quickly with this game. Like, so I mean, it was kind of boring. It ended up being pretty boring for me. Um, and I mean, overall, technically, it was what it was supposed to be. It was supposed to be a relaxing game. It was very calm, but I mean, I got pretty tired of it pretty quickly, uh, considering like I couldn't really do much. So, would I recommend this game? If if you're looking for a game with a story, this not the game for you. Um, I would only recommend this game if you need something to do that's calming, or if you just need to look at something for a while. It seems like it could be a good time waster game. But this game overall is pretty boring, and after a bit, like I don't really recommend you play it for fun. But if you really need something to calm you down, or like you've had a long day or something like that, I guess you can play this game. And so for my rating, I rate Garden by Concrete Games Research Lab a 5.5 tokens out of 10. Great job, Concrete Games Research Lab. Thank you guys for joining me on this episode of Indie House. Be sure to rate the episode and let me know your thoughts. I've got a Discord server called Indie House Official, which would be a great place for you to give your feedback and talk to me, my collaborators, or other listeners of the show. If you have any indie game suggestions, feel free to comment below or hit us up on IndieHouse_pod on Twitter or Instagram using the hashtag IndieHouseGaming. And if you would like to support the podcast further and get some cool extra content and early content, you can find the Patreon in the card. The link is in the description below. Catch us next week on YouTube, Spotify, Apple Podcasts, and Google Podcasts. See y'all on the next level. Bye!